Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Meeple has landed.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Vitruvian Meeple's production of the Powers That Be a Claim the Sky campaign. I'm your host, Trevor, the Vitruvian Meeple, here as always with Patrick, Ecat, Matt, Julie, and Ray. We're here to play some CYPHER systems, some superheroes. For those of you that have been with us for this whole journey, or even if you started in late, we'd like to thank you for coming along with us. I believe we are hitting, cannot believe it, the beginning of the end. But that's okay. We're gonna send this story out with a bang, and then we already have the next thing covered that we're going to bring to you. So, but let's not mince words. We've got, as always, a lot to do, not a whole lot of time to do it. So I'm going to pass it over to our GM, Patrick. Patrick, please take us back into the world of Excelsior.
So when last our intrepid adventurers met, boy did some stuff go down. The party had decided to split into two groups because that's always the wise decision in any gaming system. We all know this. So one group hung out with the Reichstag, the immense Nazi relic of a mech that was taken over by a nefarious artificial intelligence that came out of an Oracle data storage device, and tried to defeat it. Meanwhile, the others headed off to Rikers Island to the large circus taking place there in order to take on the Circus King. Inexplicably, both parties were successful at what they did. The Circus King has been severed from his alien intelligence and is now just some random guy who's probably not going to be enjoying the rest of what might last of his life, because the island has been overrun by mutants and espers, and both of them are taking it to absolutely everyone in sight because they're kind of tired of what's been going on. Meanwhile, the Reichstag was defeated, flipped into an alternate dimension, as it is wont to do, since it wasn't really operating correctly, and its vast atomic engines caused a slight rift. So it has sucked itself into the middle of nowhere, and things are momentarily quiet. Everyone's favorite word. So, your communicators are operating correctly. There's no interference or anything going on at the moment. Aside from the folks that are on Rikers Island are having to contend with the fact that it is pretty loud out there, as there is a gigantic fight still going on. And it is not a peaceful scene whatsoever. Lots of screaming from the various carnies around who are getting murdered or beaten up savagely by, once again, the various mutants and espers that are floating about. So,
All right. So, as I recall, it's Crash and Jean that are on Rikers Island. Am I remembering that correctly?
yes,
Yep.
the two of you are hanging out with now Calamity and Grendel.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Let's see. As much as I hate to say this, I think we may have to save the carnies. Do the carnies look like they're still mind controlled, or are they wandering around in confusion and going, "What am I doing here?"
They seem to be in some semblance of a fugue state, actually.
Okay.
Some of them are still being aggressive, seem to be in their nature. Others are just kind of lost, and some in some sort of madness that they haven't quite gotten out of yet.
Okay. I I look over at Kilometer and I say, let's round them up. And I start speeding in, and I will start with the ones that are in the fugue state and or are not being violent, and just kind of like, bringing them out as quickly as I can to a safer location, preferably not.
Well,
right
interestingly, the western half of the island is all but deserted at this
There you
time,
go.
as nobody can see where all of the Requiem soldiers went to.
Yeah, that's comforting.
Yep. All right. So, well, so better someplace where we can keep an eye on them. So yes, I will actually like bring the people back like behind where we're standing. And every one of them, as they drop them off, I look at them and I say, "Stay." Next. So imagine the scene where like Quicksilver is cleaning out the X Mansion as it's exploding.
Yep.
That's basically what I've got going on.
Cue the rhythmics.
Yep.
So, meanwhile, out in Central Park, the group of you are standing there. The hole in reality has closed itself back up, which is kind of nice. None of you have slipped into wherever it went, which is also nice. Probably more so, I would say, because if there's still a hole there, you could probably repair it. But if one of you is gone, nobody knows where the person who can get you is. So you see the fires and you hear the noise from Rikers. So over the, past all the giant modern skyscrapers, and between you and it, you can see the flickering light of just fire. It's fairly serious going on over there. And once again, you can hear this massive battle going on.
Gene, buddy, you okay over there?
Oh, Jack, we are just dandy. Thank you
Okay.
for asking. How are you?
Having a little hard time hearing you. Are you in like a mosh pit of a Guar concert over there? What?
Mosh pit maybe, Guar not so much. We are looking around. Just it's time to round up the toddlers and take them home.
During that pause when Gene was trying to figure out what to say, Crash actually says over the communicator, and it's really sped up because he's in FaceTime now. Why sucks?
All right. Yeah. As far as how we're doing, kind of an existential crisis, but otherwise fine.
Whose existential crisis?
Mine. Turns out, part of me is a Nazi who built the Reichdonner, and the other part's a geneticist that, kind of gave birth to the Scions and the mutants. So I'm gonna need a whole lot of alcohol.
I knew
Pretty
this was
soon.
gonna like you.
Hey, GM,
Okay.
is Sawyer still standing around us?
Yes, Sawyer is. He is talking into some sort of communicator.
Okay.
Jack, just one quick clarification here. Do you happen to have the song All of Me going through your head right now?
That's a negative there, Gene.
Okay, just checking.
Thanks for the earworm, Gene.
Hey, I'm a source of culture and education here. What can I say?
Uh-huh.
So
Atomicon, looking at the remains of where the Reichdonner once was, with kind of an interesting look on its metal face. It has some articulation to it, but it's been kind of staring at it. Then looks at back over towards the buildings, looking at the fire thing, and says, "I'm going to assist over there. Anyone want to ride?"
Oh, well, this day can't get any weirder, so sure.
Yeah, I'll tag along too. Pa?
Yeah.
So it kind of scoops up the group of you. And what is best described as an entirely too loose of a hold for what's about to happen, and then rockets into the sky. You feel yourselves immediately starting to slip. But fortunately, before you manage to fall completely out of its grip, it lands. It moves very, very fast. Oomph. Into the middle of this giant fight going on. The circus tent is on fire. Half of it is falling over. The other half, the canopy is starting to fall apart, but the poles haven't fallen quite yet, which is good because your friends are underneath that. There's mayhem everywhere. You see a blur going past you all the time, people just disappearing. Grendel is out there just picking up people, throwing them into the river and whatnot. Just utter mayhem is occurring.
Turn to ice and like, so how about we just fuck off and get coffee?
Sounds good.
Anybody else?
I'm in.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because seriously,
Oh yeah.
I did not sign up for this shit. But, Pa, how much of this is your family?
Okay, so I started looking around and
So it's about you have about half the people there are cardies, clowns, and other sorts. About a quarter of the people on the island are obviously scions. You can tell they're very bald and have no hair growing anywhere on their bodies, and look kind of pale and weird. Well, pale for the ones that can be pale. Other folks, well, they have other weird skin conditions going on and whatnot. And then the remaining quarter look much like your family because, well, there are a whole bunch of weirdos with all sorts of weird things happening with them. Wings and rock formations and other things going on. Having a delightful time just beating the tar out of everybody in sight. It seems that unconsciousness seems to be a great way to handle any of the crazed carnies, and so they're just approaching that as any way they can.
I'm going to go look for a place to sit down and just watch. Because at this point, I've reached done with all the surreal bullshit we've had today. I'm just going to sit and watch for a while.
I'm gonna sit next to you, kind of keep an eye on things, see if I need to jump in to help out anywhere, but
I mean, your family seems to have this in order, and well,
Yeah, things do seem fairly well under control. I mean, the carnies have got nothing on the people attacking them for the most part. They're not making much headway, and they're not organized at all, unlike the other two. One group is working in a telepathic unity at the moment, and so they have wonderful plans going along, and shuffling people around, getting things taken care of. And the other ones are just beating the tar out of everybody in sight with their typically either weird powers or the fact that they're very strong and fast, as once again mutants are wont to be. A couple of them aren't doing a whole lot, possibly trying to put out the fires, but only a few powers can really do that without killing everyone around it, of course.
I keep an eye on the fire, but until it actually comes near me, I'm not going to do it.
Well, fortunately, this is they leveled the area and put up
Right.
their carny stuff, so it's just tents and various circus rides on fire. So like
Yeah.
nearby, there's a merry-go-round going around. The calliope is making all sorts of weird noises and stuff. The horses are on fire. It looks horrible, but it's not spreading anywhere, unless
Right.
some unfortunate soul comes off of it on fire themselves, and then it might spread a bit.
Right. So until it comes near me, I'm not going to worry about or us.
So,
yeah.
I'm just going to let it burn.
So Jack finds one of those old-timey popcorn machines, grabs a bag, staggers over to where the ladies are and sits down.
Ooh,
I reach
Popcorn.
over. Yeah, hand instantly goes into the bag and
So, I was led to believe that the Circus King, was this big, scary mastermind guy. What's going on here?
Well, turns out that the essence of the Circus King is actually one of Eddie's backwoods kinfolk. And upon saying that, having heard enough of American culture, basically I feel from Eddie this vaguely good-natured symbiotic punch in the arm.
Okay,
Familiar
so
for
he
aw
found
shucks.
Yeah.
like a cheap sheet. All right, well, that's good.
And he tried to throw his weight around, and Eddie had more weight to throw around. A lot more weight
Okay.
to throw around.
That's good. So
that's one
what's
asshole
left
out of
on
the way.
That's
the check?
that is one force that has been neutralized. Speaking of
So
which,
obey?
go ahead. You first.
No. I was just going down the asshole checklist.
Yeah, speaking
So
of
that
asshole checklist, I turned to Grendel. Is Grendel still in
He's coming and
range?
going, beating people up, and then cooling off for a minute.
So I try to go, hey Grendel, but he's like, and I miss him. And I look towards Jack and it's like, go on.
that obey guy.
Right, yeah, yeah. And I see Grendel again coming up, and I jump in front. Stop! And kind of get him to go, "Arr!" And
there he is.
I look up at him and say, you able to get a 20 on my old boss?
No, actually, I haven't seen him. That's kind of weird.
But
Although
Obey's got the same thing.
he is kind of good at disappearing and slipping away.
So I tap in with Eddie. He's like, hey Eddie, you know where the little brother is?
He's south of us. He's back in back in the Queens neighborhood, I think, where we always hang out. Doing what, I don't know.
Really? I look to Black Ice. Want some coffee?
Quickly shove the popcorn in my mouth because yes.
May I ask, if I may, one favor?
Depends. What's the
If
favor?
you're up for it, I'm going to fly back to Queens and have a little chat. I could drop you off at Sunbucks. Maybe you could, as I'm flying over the island, make it rain and provide some nice cold relief for the fires going on. Little public service, danger level low, coffee.
sitting there thinking for a second. You know, I don't have to do community service yet for course credit. But yeah, I suppose we could.
Excellent. So I have her get on my back.
Piggyback.
Yeah.
Puppies.
Uppies. Big time uppies. You ready?
And, you know, I'm rather slight because of my build, so
Yeah.
you're not gonna really know.
I'm on a knee so that she can just like kind of climb up
The
on.
coat weighs as much as you do.
Basically, yeah. All right, so where's my abilities?
So based upon my
Ice creation.
high
There we go.
school level understanding of meteorology, I'm going to assume that if you were to use something like cold burst, it would drop the air below the dew point and cause precipitation to start happening.
I also have, it's a skill, I think. I gotta find it because maybe we didn't have it. Ability. I thought I had a. Yeah, cold burst or ice creation. Oh no, here, sudden flurry.
There you go.
Creates an ice fog that condenses within an area within long range that is no bigger than immediate distance in diameter, hindering sight. But it's an icy fog. So there's that, or ice creation, but that's a solid object. And so I could just basically be pancaking Manhattan as we go by.
Shape of an anvil.
Or actually, fire and ice would be better. Cause a target within a short range to become either very hot or very cold. So I leave it up to you, Mr. GM. What would be?
Actually, I like that one. You can use it on a cloud.
Okay.
That's object-ish, right? The diffuse object.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's got mass.
It's a discrete object, yeah.
Okay, so let's hold on. I accidentally. Okay, so what would my difficulty be?
What the difficulty of freezing a cloud? It's a big thing. It's probably difficult to miss it. So let's call it a 3.
Yeah.
Not trivial because your average person can't even, make an ice cube cold.
They lost the recipe.
There you go.
Okay, so for the rest of you out there,
And you get an ice cloud. You get an
it
ice
starts
cloud.
raining freezing cold water on Rikers Island. Where y'all are hanging out.
Son of a. God damn it.
If
Yeah,
only there was a nice warm beverage you could go for or something.
days just getting better and better.
Some of us are
we-
working here.
Remind me why we accepted that lift over here from Automacon.
Because we thought we were being smart and bringing the party back together, and then we went and split the party again.
Awesome.
Speaking of which, Automacon has taken to trying to corral the crowds by vaporizing the earth in between them into large channels. It's pretty awe-inspiring to see just how much energy this thing is capable of putting out. It's a sort of thing like you would see Cyclops do in certain editions. And, it seems to be working because, well, that group over there can't get anywhere. There's a 10-foot trench in front, behind, and around them.
That's filling in with freezing rain, yeah.
Yes. And because the weather outside is under no circumstances that cold, it's starting to fog up something fierce around you.
Oh, goody. Okay. Well,
So, where are the rest of you heading?
I'm gonna get a goddamn cup of coffee and to try to dry off because Bama's got this under control.
Okay, so Pa does her thing where she ducks down, kind of nods her head a little bit, wiggles her butt just a little bit, and then leaps off into the distance.
and once again, I'm the guy without any flight powers. Great.
Calamity walks up to you. The rain is steaming off of the barrels of her pistols. They're practically glowing red. Did those fuckers all leave?
Yep.
Damn it.
Don't suppose you got a horse or something.
No, can't have a horse in freaking Queens. You insane? If the police were here, I could steal one of theirs. But, I know. I'll be right back. And she runs off towards the circus tent.
What are you running on?
And she comes back with a tiny, wishes it was as big as a Fiat vehicle. Skids to a halt next to you. Opens the door. Get in, come on!
Their tricycle.
The fucking clown car.
Literally
Great.
clown car.
All right. Well, so do my best to contort into the
It's tight. You feel kind of
Into the-
uncomfortable hanging out with one of your friend's girlfriends under such tight circumstances, but it has a roof at least.
Yep.
So
It's
she
dry.
drives across the battlefield, doing her best to dodge heroes and villains alike, and of course the large pits that are now forming everywhere because, well, Atomicon is doing a marvelous job of making things miserable for everybody.
Please tell me it intermittently goes meep meep.
It's like what, a smart car?
Thereabouts.
Yeah.
Not even.
They somehow
Little
managed to fit a
shoebox.
dozen clowns into this thing, but you're not sure how they do that.
There's got to be some sort of freaking portal.
Yeah. Another interdimensional gate.
So Crash, you see that most of your friends are heading off the island, heading back home.
Okay, how am I doing with the innocent and maybe not quite so innocent bystanders?
Pretty good. You've gotten all the ones that seem truly horrified by what's going on right now. The diehard crazy ones are largely subdued at this point. Things are happening very quickly.
Okay, so I stop. I come back to where we had been. Stop. Around. Coffee? Really?
I respond. Fire's out.
I'm cold. I'm wet. I am uncomfortable in multiple ways. So yes, coffee.
Do you want your usual?
Yes, please.
Make it a double. I'll still beat you there. I turn back to the people that are right. Okay, so I turn to the ones that I have crowd. You go home. You, and I look at the ones that are still like, you're on your own, and I leave.
Okay, so you all descend upon Sunbuck's coffee. It is empty. No people inside. In fact, the furniture seems to be missing.
Oh,
the
Is
counter's
the
still
machine
there.
there? I was gonna say, is
The
our coffee
machine is still there.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's all I
Everything
give a
else is
shit about.
replaceable.
I don't want to have to bribe Tink into making a new one. So yeah. I walk in and just start making coffee.
So it starts making its horrifying whooping noises and reaches a crescendo and then spews out the best coffee you've ever had.
Start putting cups on the counters.
Once you make your first cup and you're about to take a sip, Crash whizzes past you, grabs it just before you're able to get it.
That's my flavor, not yours. You're gonna hate it.
Some of us work for a living.
Yes, so do I.
Ah, fine.
I
Prove
told
your
you.
point.
This one is yours.
Thank you.
And then Paul lands right at the door, bunk, and just walks in like she hadn't just left, a quarter mile from her previous jump.
There you go.
Thank you.
Swaggering in like a cat who knows exactly what she's up to. And then eventually a clown car screeches to a sideways halt in front of the store. You'd say that they were trying to drift, but probably not. That didn't look so controlled as you thought it might be.
Akira
It's,
slide, Akira slide.
And it's halfway up on the curb. And then out of it crawls Jack.
I just hold out a cup.
1 second. Hold out a hand. Help Calamity out of the car.
Before
Calamity stops
gets
around
through
for
the
a
door,
couple minutes.
I was gonna say, before
Oh.
Calamity gets through the door, I hop over the counter so I'm no longer behind it.
She has to stop a bit to get the blood flowing back in her feet because it obviously was not designed for anybody wearing cowboy boots to wear, because you kind of have to put your knees up somewhere around your shoulders in order to hold onto the wheel and drive the damn thing. But she walks in, sees that everyone's having coffee. She goes over, hits some things, turns the dial, makes her own. So for everybody who enjoys a nice cup of coffee, you can take a free rest period.
Yay.
Hey.
Is it like a just a free recovery roll? It doesn't. We don't take
Yep.
one off. Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yes.
I don't think I took one. No, because I dropped Black Ice off and then I went looking for Obe.
Check.
7 points back.
So where are you looking for him?
Well, after dropping off Black Ice, I ask Eddie, it's like, are you getting a clearer line on him? Can you get a read?
I think he may have been back at your home. I don't sense him there now, but I sense where he was.
Home? You mean our headquarters?
Yes. Yeah, that.
So I take off and land right at our front door.
Do you tell us where you're going?
Right now I do after I land. So I land and announce on the comms, "Hi, I'm back at our headquarters because Eddie thinks we may have an unwanted visitor. Some upper level department management seems to be paying a visit."
Do we still
Jack.
have that guy in our prison?
Yes.
Oh, great. Somebody
you let
remember
the
to
mind
feed
go.
him?
Yeah, I think Crash and I did that a couple days ago.
You are welcome to make that assumption.
So
Or did we just eat pastries in front of him? I lost
Yeah,
track.
since you were the one who installed the security system, you do have access to all of your cameras and whatnot.
Okay.
So if you're feeling lazy and don't want to get up and put your coffee down,
Yeah, just start cycling through the cameras. Is the
okay, the
furniture
security
still
system
there?
tells you nobody is inside of the building other than your prisoner.
Okay.
You're the first one who looks up. He's just kind of sitting in a corner in an existential crisis of starvation and bad decisions.
Yeah, but I know that we both been know that that's deception is one of Obey's strong points. So hold on. Speaking of which,
So is the orange glowing rock still in
No, it's
place?
not. The three
Son of a
glowing orange
bitch.
rocks are missing.
Ah,
Son of a
crap.
bitch.
Oh. Anyone remember to low jack those things?
The containment device is supposed to be alarmed. I should have gotten a notification at least that it was breached.
Yeah, but if they can phase shift like Crash does, that doesn't necessarily mean the alarm.
Yeah,
won't
it
go.
has not been opened.
Yeah, but the contacts on the coffee
And the
cup
coffee cup,
should have.
the coffee cup is still there.
Damn it.
And the other one was just kind of hovering on the other side, trying to get back with the other parts.
Yeah, just. Son of a bitch. All right. Well,
whenever we had like back in that episode, wow. I'm trying to think because it affected Crash and it affected Black Ice, but it didn't affect me. But did I have some kind of different reaction or like bond with those rocks?
No, actually, it was kind of neutral when it touched you. It was just a
Yeah.
rock to you.
Okay. But no.
The others
Okay.
had extreme reactions to it.
Right. Definitely recall that. But I can't like hone. I don't have any special thing where I could like hone in on them because they weren't anything special. Even
No,
though it
I mean
helped
you
put my
could
arm
sense
back
they were
on.
special, but they didn't jive with your abilities
Got it.
quite the
Okay.
same way they did with the others.
yeah. Doesn't resonate with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, Patrick, do the glowing green rocks, I mean orange rocks, color stuff, give off any radiation other than light?
Nothing that you have been able to detect. They give off light and sound, and they are highly reactive to a lot of things, but they are not giving out like any sort of gamma radiation or anything like that, or electromagnetism. Which makes
Well,
it weird the fact that they're trying to attach to each other, and there's no primal force that you've been able to find that actually is doing it.
except for stuff on the visible spectrum.
Yeah.
I would like to try sense the weird, which says I can sense from long distance range such things as the GM determines as weird.
Indeed, you may roll that. Target 4.
I'm just curious.
See, that's why we have skills.
Throw a level of effort in. Target 4. Yes.
Let's go.
Damn.
Nice.
Nice.
Ooh.
I close my eyes for just a minute. I step outside of Sunbucks when I hear this, and I close my eyes and just basically look like I'm about to meditate to just feel, because I've been around these stupid things forever because we've had them in our vault, to see if I can pick up any kind of sense of them.
And yes, you can. It's in the basement of Sunbucks.
What? Hold. So I turn around, go marching in. They're downstairs. Here.
Hey, what?
Yeah.
What now?
And
So I
turn to
guess that's where
Calamity.
the
Yeah. I turn to Calamity and go, "Where's the door to the basement?" I'm assuming
Guess
it's
that's where the
outside, but
furniture went.
Oh, the basement? Oh,
yeah.
Well, there's a stairwell in the back office, or there's also one of the ones, those two metal plates out in front of the door. You can lift those, and there's a staircase.
Can I tell which would be which is closer, going through the delivery chute outside or stairwell?
They both go to the same place. The advantage of the outside one is that you're not as cramped trying to get into it.
Okay. However, it's a drop down as opposed to
It's a pretty steep delivery staircase into a delivery door. So that's definitely both directions are a one person at a time affair.
All right. I go over to the door that leads in from the back, not outside, and just say, "Fuck it." I open the door and go downstairs. I am not being stealthy. I choose
No
not
sneak
to
for
be-
you.
I choose not to invoke my stealth ability on this.
So you walk up to the door and you kick it nice and solid with your stomping boots, which of course you are,
Always
wearing. So the door flies open, and you see a staircase heading downstairs. The staircase looks a little funny. It turns. It doesn't go straight. It's kind of turning off to the right, but also twisting a little bit.
I reach into one of the many pockets of my coat, put on my headlamp, turn it on. I then create a small ball of ice and just drop it down the stairs, ping pong ball style, just to watch what it does.
It goes down the stairs and starts sliding off to the one side and follows along the wall until it disappears around the corner.
I lean back out. "Hey, Clam, is the stairs supposed to be doing that?"
Nope, not even all. Not even slightly. They go down to a landing, and there's a door. It turns. I'm guessing the landing's off just a little bit to the right now. Yeah.
Are we dealing with more interdimensional bullshit?
You are indeed dealing with more interdimensional bullshit. As soon as you see it, your interdimensional bullshit radar goes off like, oh, crap. And then you think like, oh, the furniture's missing. Oh, something's going on down there.
Fantastic.
I look to Jack and go, "Thoughts?"
Well, I'm sincerely hoping that this isn't the back rooms again, like
God.
the trailer was, but who the hell knows at this point? I'm saying,
Yeah.
next time we just send those orange rocks into the sun, be done with that.
Yeah. You guys got any ideas?
Well,
Anybody else?
let's try the street access just to see if the field effect is the same.
All right. Who's the strongest to open this sucker? All right, Crash.
Casey, you're up.
See if there's joy in Mudville.
Yeah, flex them pythons. Come on.
Y'all head outside, and you see, as explained, you know, two steel plates that fit together. It is obviously designed to be opened from the inside, not from the outside. But you manage to, you know, you phase a finger through one of them to get a grip on the other and pick it up, and it lifts up until it opens up just a little past 90 degrees. You get the other one over. And indeed, there is a narrow staircase. It's actually a drop down, and there's a wooden staircase has been put in. The wooden staircase, much like the other, twists a bit, although the door at the end is still there. It is not quite square and true anymore, nor is the door frame that it goes into. You're not sure if it'll be stuck or not the way it is right now. But once again, that's rarely a problem for you. The rest of your friends might have an issue.
I can make it so that we can get through.
All right. Great. So, interdimensional bullshit. So do we want to do this pincer style or just all go through one entrance?
You know what? Interdimensional bullshit, go! Crash has had enough waiting. I literally I open the door. If it doesn't look I'll be able to phase it open. I have right now a might edge of 7, which means I can apply 3 levels of effort without it costing me any points.
So the might actually ends up helping a lot, because it's not so much that the door is irregularly shaped, it's that it's latched from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the standard good old fashioned system of just put a bar in front of the door so nobody can get in through there. But once again, you give it a really nice good nudge and it pops open.
Yeah.
And as soon as the door starts creeping open, it squeaks wildly while it's doing it, and a fell orange light emits out from there.
Bell light, you say?
Gene, you're up.
I'm still at headquarters
Oh,
trying to locate Obe.
Gene, there's weird shit going on at Sunbucks. Get your ass over here.
There's
Hey,
an
look.
intruder in our headquarters.
He's
that I
already-
have a
He's
beef
likely over here because he stole the orange rocks, which,
Or
you know,
here.
patched through the visual feed, appear to be glowing here.
I'll be right over.
Thanks. Oh, and by the way, your girlfriend smells nice.
Get him over here quick. Get him over here more quickly. Like,
Yeah, that was the whole point.
She's busy reloading, by the way, and she gives you a wink.
Get rid of the thumbs up back.
When you look over at her, by the way, you see something that more interdimensional bullshit that you really, really, really do not want to see.
Oh.
The stars are moving.
Oh,
and they aren't all moving as a group, as though, you know, you were caught in some sort of time acceleration. They are rotating into different patterns.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
that can't
Houston, we have a problem.
I have yet to take astrophysics, but I don't think they're supposed to do that.
No,
Nope.
no, generally not. That's
Gene,
bad.
As you're flying back over, Eddie says something. one of those words in its own language that you're starting to be able to comprehend as it's saying. And it basically means it's time.
For what?
The stars are right.
Exactly. Care to elucidate on that there?
It's complicated, but your planet's special and we need it. And so we're going to use it. Unfortunately.
Wait, what?
I'm
You'll be
assuming
fine,
they
though.
can't hear.
Yeah, they can't hear that conversation. Well, they hear
Huh.
no, actually you're not even speaking, you're just kind of thinking at them.
Yeah.
So, and so the things on the planet, well, but you'll be fine.
Oh, I'll be fine.
Oh, of course. I'll protect you from it. We just have to find a place you can survive on, and yeah. But we'll get you taken care
So
What
while
about
he's
everybody else?
of. The others of us will be all right.
Uh, if I could give a symbiote a side eye, I'd be so giving the symbiote a side eye. I mean, everybody here, my team, their families.
Yeah, I got nothing. Unless somebody else has an idea. It's going to get dodgy here really fast.
Define fast.
Once the priest wakes up, it does not wait or take time or hang on.
Stats
No,
on the
no,
priest.
it's awake. It's so yeah, it's already starting to happen.
Priest, define.
Oh, the priest. The priest was the first to come here. Your our cousin Nebula brought it here a long time ago, and it's just been kind of hanging out until the right time, which is now.
4.
So you land in front of Sunbucks, boom,
Yes.
having a
both
conversation
indeed.
with Eddie. So the rest of you see him show up. He looks disturbed.
I'm actually not looking at him because I'm taking advantage of the fact that I can basically be in any environment. And I'm like gone to the doorway and looking over Crash's shoulder, looking for these rocks. And can I see them from the doorway?
Kind of, yes. You see that the source of the light is inside the room off to the left. Off to the right, on the other hand, there is no orange. Something seems to be absorbing it.
I would like, if I may, to invoke the new cipher I just created for my little instant servant. And I pull out the little shiny box that Jack gave me. He was so nice. And I do whatever little thing I have to do, and out pops my little ice golem. And I would like to give him, whatever, the instructions to go collect the rocks stealthily and absorb them and bring them back. While we keep whatever black thing in black is distracted.
You put it down. It walks into the room. Waits for a minute. You hear a clunk, clunk, and it comes back. looks up. I cannot reach them.
On a too high of a shelf there, buddy.
It's on the end of a stick that a man's holding.
Fishing.
No,
Oh.
Malcolm McDowell.
Break the stick. Get the rocks.
Save the cheerleader.
Basically.
Heck's
Save the
gonna give
world.
it to you.
Save the world.
So it goes back in. You hear some more noises, and then a person speaks with a pretty severe accent. Do you mind? I'm busy. You, of course, recognize that, Gene. That's Obey.
And as soon as I hear the voice, I whip around, crack my knuckles, and go, busy, really?
No, the line is, why no? I don't mind at all.
Keep him busy, Gene, while my little guy goes and gets the rocks.
So do you enter?
I do.
Yep.
But before I do, I bring Eddie just to the precipice of my consciousness, my awareness, because if this is Gene versus Obey, I'm not winning that one. I have to pull trump card. And so, just like with the Circus King, I need my strength at my hand.
We have the best powers. Nobody has better powers than we do.
Oh, God damn it. And
So
the
you
light's
go through the
orange, too.
Yep.
Just
You go through the door into a storeroom. One of a few down here. This is the receiving room and you see like a box of paper cups that is slowly pulling its way towards the dark side of the room. On the far left of the room, as you walk in, stands Obey, holding a cane with a fully formed layrock sitting on top of it, shining in bright orange.
I enter on the comms. Crash, Neve, Jack, stay away. Do not come any further. He's got the damn orange rocks like deranged Harry Potter over here.
well, you get in there and you kick old J.K. Rowling's in the
And the Nards.
The Hagrids.
in the Hagrid's, the Golden Snitch.
Give the Philosopher's Stone to the Golem.
Make her see or make him see Dementors.
The Obey looks at you. Says, cuz, how you doing?
I have no time for niceties.
Well, to be perfectly honest, nobody has time for anything right now. It's the time. We're going to change everything. The question is, whose side are you on? You on my side or its side? And he points over at the swirling darkness that is on the other side of the room, and you watch as the box of paper cups gets sucked into it and disappears.
You small minded, weak, insecure little boy.
Sounds so much better when it's not directed at me.
You think that the sides you can see are the only sides there are. And as I talk, you can hear the voice start to gradually change as Eddie comes to the forefront. It might be time, but the time is but a construct, and that is a concept that you have yet to grasp. And so what I'm going to need from you is to step away, put your toys down, and go home.
Let's see. I would like you to roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
It is going to be a difficulty 8.
All right. So preparing minus total cost 0 intellect points. I did not get. Okay. How many intellect points would it take for 3 levels of effort?
7.
I have 8. There we go.
Don't you have edge?
Oh yeah, I have 3 edge.
So then 4.
Okay, very good. Would another level of effort take 4 more points then?
2 more.
Say again?
2 more. First level is 3. Each additional level is 2, and then you subtract your edge from the total.
Okay. Oh,
So your first one's free.
right. Fine. 5 levels.
Nice.
Nice.
Boom!
Do I make myself clear?
He stops for a second. Like, I get where you're coming from, I guess. As he gesticulates with his staff. I mean, he is time. That's the tricky part about this. Well, space-time, it's complicated. But I mean, do you really still want to live with that in charge?
Let's start with live. The rest is negotiation.
Okay, you're right. You know what? You're older. You've got this. He holds up his nice bright shiny orange at the top cane and holds it towards you. You do it.
I'll do you one better. Set it on the floor.
Okay. He places it on the floor.
Is it doing anything?
Yes. It starts moving towards the darkness very quickly.
I go, Eddie, little boost.
Are you going to go grab it?
I'm going to go grab it.
So it slides past you. You reach down, scoop it up, because, well, it's not that difficult a thing to grab. And you pick it up, and Obey looks at you, kind of looks at the ground, still kind of confused, like, well, I'm gonna go watch the priest come up, and that's a thing you only get to see once in an era. So good luck. I'm sure you've got this. And he walks out the door. The others of you who are standing there watch Obey walk out. The orange light is not moving any further now. And he just looks at you guys and he gives you a shrug. Good luck. And wanders off.
I want to
The
reach out,
color
touch
of the
him.
sky.
Can I reach out, touch him, and cast Exile on him?
He is a target 8, so go right ahead.
Fuck. It was worth a try. I just grazed my hands along. He just feels a little tingle.
He is a powerful creature. As he walks along, you see that the sky starts taking on a bit of a green tinge. Like kind of like dawn is breaking and it's all the wrong color.
I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, guys.
Yeah, that
And
looks
as
pretty
the stars start slowing down in their rotation and then stop, and lines start forming between them in that same green color.
That's not a good look.
This is very not good.
No, not good at all. Gene, does your buddy there have any idea who the priest is?
Well, seeing how this is the first time my conscious brain has come across it, and I ping Edipedia and type in priest.
So you get kind of an image in your head, and it's not a pleasant one. Doubly so because you were the one that created it.
Eddie was the one that created him.
Yes. A very, very long time ago. It is one of the earliest non-you things out there. So it wasn't created by the primal chaos like the rest of you. It is the first thing that y'all created. It was a priest for yourselves.
First question I ask is why? Why this?
Well, the universes have rules. They're all a little different. The same reason why this place is so important. That's why the priest had to be created. It's all part of the whim of the progenitor, and the progenitor is pure madness. From down the street, the rest of you hear something weird. Obeys, he's walking, he's now about a block away. He's just watching, he's just wandering off. He pulls out a flute out of a very pale material. You're figuring is probably some sort of bone or something, and starts playing it. But he's not playing a melody or anything pleasant. It's this horrible shrieking noise that just changes note every once in a while.
Do I recognize it through Eddie?
Oh, yes. The progenitor likes music, and that's the music it likes.
Now wait, we're waiting for the this
That
is part of
is
the
that was Obey's original job, and he hasn't been doing it for a very long time as he's been here.
As the Piper keeps the roiling nuclear chaos asleep. So the universe exists. That's entirely out of character.
Although this is something Jack may have figured out, you know. He is pretty bright. The pull on the Layrock towards the darkness is getting stronger. It's starting to lean in your grip towards the other side of the room.
Think fast, Ribbit. I'd say to myself, Eddie, I can't let this happen. I can't let this happen. So I need you to make a decision. Are you going to help me? Because I need your help.
Yes, of course. We're one. What's good for you is good for me.
If you want to keep this good time rolling, help me use this to close that.
Your cousin's in there. I don't know what he's doing, but he's part of this, always has been. All of this exists because of him. So I think you have to go in.
I'm not gonna like it. Fine. And I allow my feet that have been gripping the ground in order to stay rooted, you know, maybe even just sort of a little bit of a hop, and I go in.
So any of you watching the door, just see him just like think for a second and then just jump through the door, through the shadow. And he's gone. And for a second, the shadow quells a little bit. And then it gets darker and a bunch of tentacles start erupting out of it. Meanwhile, those of you who are not looking down at the now dark hole at the bottom because it only has, you know, like a industrial fluorescent light lighting the room, but the orange is now gone. Here's something happening just to the north of you. And you look over and you see something pull itself out of the East River and up onto Rikers Island. It's very big, hundreds of feet tall. It's not quite a squid, not a bat, not an ant, kind of all of those things and none of those things. It lumbers up out of the water, which starts dripping off of it and starts walking towards the western part of the island. And wherever as it's walking, a big circle of green lights up around the island where he was, and sigils start growing around it.
And a mountain stumbled or crawled. Fuck. Is Obey still in sight?
Yes, Obey is kind of stopped about a block and a half away, and he looks over at the thing, pauses his playing, waves at it, and then goes back to play.
I walk down.
As you start walking away, you notice that a bunch of these horrible tenebrous tentacles start creeping up out of the basement. The first one of which wraps itself very quietly around Paw, and then he disappears.
Crash, grab that Piper.
No, I'm down at the door. I'm
Fuck it.
yeah.
And I'm
am
with him.
Yeah, I think it's you.
Hit me. Okay.
You. So okay,
Great.
so Paw got sucked into the river or the portal. I have lost track.
It got pulled in by one of the tentacles.
That was coming out of the portal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are two sets of tentacles.
Exactly. Yes. Don't cross the
Yeah,
tentacles.
not the giant tentacle faced monster, but instead the other ones that are, seeping out of the basement.
Okay, so not Cthulhu, just the hentai. Got it.
Yeah,
Get out of my brain. It's exactly where I was going with that.
there's hentai noodles everywhere.
All right.
And then the comms go quiet as the other two disappear. And you're the only one left standing on the earth.
Mrs. Jack.
And they're creeping out towards you.
Yeah.
You see them
You and I
you
got
see them
fucked.
heading
I was jumping at.
out into other parts of the city as well.
How far away is Obe?
Block and a half. He's not moving very fast.
Okay. I start running towards him. Let me know when I'm within 30 feet.
So you're running towards him, and then you get within 30 feet. He's still playing this maddening tune on his flute. It's getting a little bit more animated, and he's starting to dance a little bit with it.
Nice. All right. I'm going to tase his ass.
Target 8.
Oakley dokley.
Use that efficacy boost.
Mm-hmm.
You got.
Yeah, by the way, this is a very good time to use any ciphers you may have.
Yep. So level 5. Use of the ability is eased by 2 steps if the cipher is level 5 or higher. All right. So base difficulty 8. It's already eased by 2. It's now eased by 4 because of the cipher. I am going to toss, what the hell, 3 levels of effort into it.
Good thing.
Ooh.
Wow.
So you reach over, pull out your taser, hit him square in the chest as he's dancing around. He shakes like all crazed and drops to the ground.
Okay. I run over, grab him.
As soon as you grab him, one of the tentacles catches up with you, and you fall into darkness.
Okay, but I have him. So we're both in the darkness, which is the plan.
Indeed. So eventually you're able to see. There's this weird light that your eyes kind of see and you just kind of sense. And you're like in a place that's kind of like the cover of a really gothy Yes album.
Great.
Some sort of very ancient place. It's fallen apart. There's just void surrounding it. Not quite sure where it is. And you're not the only ones here. As you will take note, just ahead of you, see Calamity's there. She got caught up in it. Some of the other folks you know, Atomicon, Akira, Bill, even Esmeralda are there. And a little bit further on, heading towards the other side, are a couple members from the from the Liberty League. Not the whole group of them, it turns out, because, well, I didn't have them all in my my image files. And Statesman, who's still looking like he has gotten very, very badly beaten up. Although he seems to be healing all right.
Well, you know, little bright spark in the darkness.
Well, fortunately, you have a good light source near you, because your leader is carrying a nice walking stick. It's very, very, very well designed. It's nice, and the head has been replaced with, of course, a nice softball-sized rock of shimmering orange that is blazing light right now. And way on the other side, who would you happen to see standing near some other altar or portal, or it's hard to tell, you know, across the distance and through all the weirdness about it? The 4 members of your illustrious opposing group, the Order of Magnitude.
Erebus.
Let me guess. The priest is in what's her bitch?
No, the priest is on Rikers. The gate and the key is over there awakening Daddy. I think I've got, 20% of a plan now.
Share with the class.
Well, either we wake this fool up and I give Obey a not too gentle kick, or I use the sound recording of the piping and try and put this bitch to sleep. Because there's got to be something to do with the harmonics, which, aren't great for human ears, but apparently are fine for some sort of interdimensional, all-consuming waveform entity. So music is just math, right?
Yep.
So I think I can do that shit. That is, unless, illustrious leader, your hitchhiker has a different idea.
Go back to Eddie and say, who else took lessons?
Oh, that's the only piper out there.
Okay.
We all have one job. We all have one job.
Stupid.
So what happens if he blows the whistle?
I don't know. It doesn't do anything for us. We'll dance to it, of course, when we're there. But the progenitor isn't here yet.
Jack, you're clear to try, but your intended audience is not in the room.
So, rehearsal?
Sure, get a feel for the equipment.
From the middle of the room, where Sentinel and Statesman are slowly making their way towards the other 4, Sentinel pipes up. All right, you know you can't do this. You have to stop it. And Erebus, who's standing there, looks over. Stop what? And they pause for a minute. I'm not quite sure what to make of him. Hex standing there with one of his canes. looks over with his usual slightly snide look, gives him a half smile. You know, you're in bad company right now. I hate to tell you, Sentinel. Statesman's no friend of ours. I don't know that you are either.
Sawyer, you dumb motherfucker. You trusted these assholes. Now it's the end of the fucking world.
And it's all on you.
So
I trusted them to
again,
fix it. It's not my fault.
why don't we shove you through that dimensional rift and see if your ginormous ego will block it up? I think I'm liking that plan better than my original one.
Sentinel stops and turns in his new suit of armor that he had called for when he was talking to the communicator earlier. I don't know what you guys think you're doing, but we're trying to stop whatever's happening.
You fucking started it.
You enabled these motherfuckers.
I hate to tell you, but I'm not entirely certain we could stop them if we wanted to.
Do you hear yourself right now?
He looks over and sees Obey unconscious. Uh-oh. Oh, that's unexpected.
It's kind of
Man, not going to plan?
Welcome to the Queen's Gambit. We are the unexpected.
Nobody expects the Queen's Gambit.
Well, the boss told us we should just interrupt what they're doing here and it'd be fine.
This boss, this guy, that boss you're talking about,
Yes.
as he
He knew
gives
this was
another
coming.
kick in the ribs. He was in on it, you motherfucking dumbass. I swear, Elon Musk and you, these rich assholes, think you're geniuses and you're fucking morons.
I really should have frozen him when I had the chance.
Yes, you should.
Yeah.
A toddler could outwit this asshole.
So while this whole discussion has been going on, I would like to have Crash kind of inching his way until he is just within long range of the order of magnitude, invisibly.
Okay.
And once he gets there, with a muttering of, "Oh, they want to disrupt it. We can do that." I'm going to launch my spawn detonation so that it blows up right in the middle of them.
All right. Roll it.
Okay.
Boom, baby.
So wait, okay, so projects a small physical explosive up to a long distance away that bursts in an immediate radius. So I'm getting all four of them. Blinding all within it for 1 minute and inflicting damage equals to the Cypher's level, which is 7. The burst spawns 1d6 additional detonations. In the next round, each additional detonation flies to a random spot within short range and explodes in an immediate radius. Again, doing 7 damage. And I already rolled this, and it is an electrical discharge.
All right. Let's see. How are we going to handle
How would you
this?
like me to roll this?
Oh, I know exactly how I'd like to roll this.
Okay.
Hang on a second.
Successfully.
Crash has moved over to here-ish. Boink.
Yep, sounds about right.
Wait, is there a
And
map?
kind of snuck around the rubble and stuff so you didn't have to, like, you know, get within reach of Statesman so you don't kick him in the nads
Thank you,
and
appreciate
reveal
that.
your location.
Are you not on the map, Ray?
I see white screen. Nice and
you,
white.
you may want to reload there.
Yeah.
It is a big map, unfortunately.
Hit escape and
I see.
then reload application.
I just hit whoa. Got it.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a philosophy freshman's dorm room posters.
I thought you were just gonna say looks like a philosophy freshman's dorm room. But
Yeah.
That
Well-
too.
That too.
Oh my.
Boop.
Well, our illustrious GM was once a philosophy freshman, so
That was a pointed crack at Patrick. Yes.
go
Have
ahead.
you bullshitted this week?
did you try
Yes.
to bullshit this week?
So, Crash, how about a GM intrusion? I've been dying to use this.
And I will give the extra one to Gene because I think he's going to need it more than the others.
You throw the cipher, and it makes a delightful arc straight out of the air. Because, and of course, you all, one and all, can blame your illustrious leader on this one for saying the fateful words.
All right, I'm taking back that XP.
So
Okay. Do I have?
he takes it, flies with it, because it is nice and shiny, speeds off toward, gets to around where Statesman and Sentinel are when it explodes. He disappears in a horrifying flurry of blood and feathers.
Is there anything that I can do to interrupt this?
Well,
because I do have
maybe.
ranged attacks.
So the weird thing is, you're not quite sure what Erebus is doing. He's just standing there. He's not like gesticulating or anything, and there's no like weird darknessy things happening about him. He's just hanging out. The other three are paying pretty close attention to what else is happening in the room. He isn't. He's just kind of looking off into that weird swirly thingy off to the right.
Well, shit.
So as I see the seagull explode, I briefly turn to look at it, turn and look at all of you in the team, start to point, and then I just shake my head and resume my concentration.
The other folks who are in here with you are kind of confused as to what to do, because you do have a tremendous amount of firepower with you, given that you have folks like Akira and Atomicon who are just hideous, as you've noticed in the past. You figure that if she wanted to, Akira could push everybody off of this or probably break the island that you're on. Atomicon cut it in half, cut them in half, but they're just kind of watching, trying to figure out what's going on, kind of looking back and forth between you guys. And then Erebus turns and looks over his shoulder. Ah, cousin. That's unexpected.
You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
And to whom is he looking over his shoulder?
He's looking right at you.
Mm-hmm.
You would be cousin, yes.
Yes. I would like to roll wait. No. Hold on. Oh, here we go. I would like to roll my use my time dilation cipher. For the next 24 hours, when the user makes a melee attack, they move at almost instantaneous speed, easing their attacks by 2 steps.
It's
3 steps if the cipher is level 6 or higher. Of course, it isn't. It's just 3. So I would like to have that just on. Oh, that's a trade. Open item sheet. Do I need to do anything? Click anything on here?
Nope, it's on.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So I turn towards Erebus. Look him dead in the eye. And still in that mixed voice. Many things are unexpected for the unprepared.
So I have a question for you. Do you want this place to live? He turns and steps forward and puts his hand on Matrix's shoulder.
Right. Oh, there we go. Are we looking at the map?
He should be. Which you are on very opposite ends of.
Yes. Okay. I'm not sure what I should be seeing.
Okay. So you're on a big floating islandy thing.
Yes.
With a hole in the middle of it. There's a swirling vortex on the side that Erebus and crew are on. You and all of your folks are on the other at the gateway you came through. And in the middle, of course, well, Crash is missing. You have no idea where he is. This is not unusual. And
that tracks.
although you're pretty sure he hasn't run away this time, because you're not sure he can leave. And of course, you have Statesman and Sentinel in the middle, both
Should
looking
be covered in
genuinely-
gore and feathers.
Yes, they're covered in gore feathers, and they have been hit by several explosions that went on around them.
No regrets.
Zero regrets.
Run it on themselves.
No regrets.
So Erebus looks down at Matrix, says, you know, one of my favorite things to discuss. I've never really found too many people who I can talk to about it, though. Why I'm still here. I could have left a long time ago. This is all set in motion, was at the beginning of time. This place had to be, this place has to end as it does. But there might be a way around it, you know. We are what we are, after all. The thing is what are you willing to give up for it?
I look at
See,
him.
I've grown used to this place. I've grown used to the human part of me, this little minuscule side, an interesting creature. He experiences things. It's something I'm not used to. I've been around literally forever. Time happens because of me. Space happens because of me. The universe is here because I'm here.
God, I think we found someone with a bigger ego than Sentinel.
Oh, you don't understand. Like light, the thing you see from. And he points over at Lumiere. Where do you think light comes from? She was the light in the darkness. One of the first. The stories that your people came up with. Let there be light. That was her birth. The earliest of times, before time even existed. Well, barely. See, I've been here because I like to experience things. Once again, it's something new. I've always been, but I've never experienced anything. But now I get to experience all sorts of things. Happiness, joy, affection, frustration, anger, hatred, malice. It's a wonderful thing. But in order to make anything persist past today, we have to do something terrible. Something truly, truly dark. If you're up for it. Unless you have better ideas.
Is the Wandy thing responding at all to Erebus's presence?
Yes, it is drawn to him. It's still pulling. And he's the thing it's pulling towards.
Does Eddie know what these orange glowy things are? I mean, have we ever consulted him on that?
Nope.
In retrospect,
In retrospect,
That would have been a good idea.
yes.
to be fair, we did
be
really
fair.
We
Fine,
may have high
fine.
intelligence, but we're not all that smart.
I mean,
We get
I have
distracted,
an operating.
okay?
I think that falls under the intelligence, wisdom, not the same stat for a reason.
I mean, Jack was operating under the theory that they're artifacts from the Big Bang.
So I inquire to Eddie. So what happens if I just just give a glance down to the orange lollipop I'm carrying? What happens if I just give it to him? If you catch my drift.
I imagine he'll use it.
For?
My cousin has a weakness. He doesn't exist well inside of reality. He exists outside of reality.
Who does?
Can barely visit. That's why it needed the body to connect with. It connects through the soul. The soul doesn't exist here. So it's a little jump. It's able to exist in a limited fashion. I think I know what he wants to do. You're not going to like it.
But you need to tell me.
Well, we need the earth, right?
That's what you keep saying.
How many of them are there?
Just the one, as far as I'm...
No, there are multiple universes. They're everywhere. He knows it. He surrounds all of them. He's the gatekeeper between them. The only way to travel between them is through him, but he can't travel them unless he has something that lets him connect in between.
So
And you
what?
feel the grip on your thing, hold it, and it straightens itself as Eddie is taking control of your arm. And that's exactly what this does. It opens ways between places.
It's his
that he
frickin'
can
Bifrost.
So I have a feeling he wants to trade places. He wants to save this one and lose another.
Hey, Gene, ask your buddy there what happens when Erebus's host dies.
So, what happens if the vessel becomes broken irreparably?
Oh, it'll vanish from here. It can't be here. Only said very limited short straps. Even here, this is in between, but it's still a place. He'll be gone. Whatever's going to happen will happen.
Jack, spooky spook go bye-bye.
So, hearing this, and still being invisible, I would like to slowly and stealthily make my way behind. Actually, Erebus is here. Make my way behind Erebus.
Okay. So Erebus looks at Jean. So I'll offer you a trade. We can save this place. We have to do it together. But in order to prove to me that you really think that we should do that, I want you to do something for me. I want you to kill my enemy. The person who threatened something precious to me. He squeezes his hand on Matrix's shoulder. Which is, of course, heavily armored, so she doesn't feel a damn thing. Stares at you, then he looks over and stares right at Statesman. End him. And end a whole other planet, and you can keep your world. And nobody else outside of this room will ever know. Otherwise, I'm going to open up a way. My two friends here will come through. Lumiere, well, she knows how to take care of herself, of course, but they can get to another Earth, and I'm eternal. So the question's, it's all up to you. Do you want this place? Your queen's that important to you.
Counter proposal. How about you fuck off and die? And I pull out the alien gun, pop the repeater, and what I'm going to do is shoot once at him and then shoot where he's going to be when he dodges.
Okay, you know something about him, though. He doesn't dodge. Things just pass through him.
No, he co-locates. He teleports.
Sometimes, but usually it's that he just phases. His connection to the world is tenuous at best.
Well, let's see what we can do about that. I am going to, while I am phased, I'm going to do both disrupting touch and scratch existence right up close to him, end with my arms basically through him, and then phase back in, along with phase detonation.
Okay. Just to be clear, though, from the previous conversation, what happens to the Earth if you do that? Just to make sure you understand what you're doing.
So it sounds like it's basically, he's the one in control.
If he does nothing, the Earth gets taken away by the priest.
Okay.
Is it the priest or the progenitor?
Well, the progenitor ultimately, but working through the priest. Because he's big and lazy and he doesn't want to do anything himself. He's all potential, but no actuality.
Okay. If we sever Erebus's connection with reality, we still
You'd have
have
to come up-
time.
You'd have to come up with a way to save the world. You can,
We
if you want.
We put the progenitor back to sleep. We've got the piper.
But
We
how do you
know
get to the
music.
progenitor?
I'm assuming he's coming through the portal.
Or at least the priest is.
The priest is already there. He's hanging out in Rikers.
I was gonna say the priest
There-
Okay.
is
You're
Cthulhu.
right, you're right.
Yeah, there's this big roiling portal-y thing. Is that just set dressing?
Kind of, yeah.
He's
For
honest.
fuck's sake,
Yeah, that's
Patrick. If you're
But
going
when
to
it wants
put
to show up, the sky rips apart and it just appears wherever it wants to be. Remember who you're
Patrick,
talking about.
if you're going to put Chekhov's portal on the mantelpiece,
The unfortunate thing about the map is it was the only thing I could find that was fitting for that on the short term.
Yep.
So actually, the priest will open up the sky to it, but that's back on Earth.
okay, that's back on Earth.
That's comforting.
What
And you
is
do.
Sawyer and Statesman's reaction to being told, to hearing that?
Flummoxed. They turn to the rest of you and are kind of nervous because they're hideously outnumbered at the moment.
That would be an understatement.
What are you looking at us for? You caused this stuff, you idiots. This is on you.
Honestly, serve you right if we just killed you and, just to fix this mess and, promoted somebody else.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who was thinking we just sacrificed these assholes.
Yeah.
Okay,
So Sentinel looks
Greater
over and
good.
says, plan. Wake up the Piper, give him back the stone. He has a way to bring it back. He knows how to save the Earth. He told me that. That's why he's in charge.
you trust this guy?
Obviously.
Gene?
Remember, we're the good guys.
No, you're not.
No, you're
No,
not.
Good
no.
is
No,
relative.
you're not. Neither are we.
You clearly didn't pay attention 20 years ago, did you?
Nope. I mean, I'm all for waking up the Piper again and seeing what he's got to say.
I found a good use for the swirling vortex. So Erebus holds out his hand to it, and it shimmers and splits open, and you see an above view of Rikers Island. You see the giant creature has cleared whatever is on it. Either whoever was there has left, or they didn't make it because it's empty of almost everything. It's kind of a flat expanse of stone right now. And it has cast some sort of glyph on the ground. is shining bright green, is going about its business very methodically, moving its appendages over it. It keeps changing its size, by the way. Sometimes it's very big, sometimes it's not. It's kind of mind-bending to look at. The other heroes from around the city are trying to attack it and not getting very far.
Can I roll a knowledge from having like being so bored in my aunt's witchy bookshop that I've read most of the books there to
Okay.
see if there was some sort of thing that might reference to what the fuck this guy is doing?
Yes, roll it. That'll be a target 6.
Well, before she does that, can I do a player intrusion and spend an XP to say it works?
Sure, we can do that.
Okay.
Okay, then I won't roll.
You know your shit.
So what it's doing is it's about to move the Earth somewhere. No one knows where they're taking it and what they're going to do with it. But all that stuff that lives on it and whatnot is not going to make the trip. It loses its atmosphere and everything else along the way. They're interested in the dead rock of the Earth. All the water and other stuff.
Fuck,
Yeah.
oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. Fuck. We gotta stop that thing, guys. I mean, I was supposed to die 5 years ago, so I'm on borrowed time, but y'all, we're gonna die if he finishes this.
I'm a gestalt entity that involves a dead Nazi, so yeah. So what happens if we disrupt that glyph?
GM?
If you can, you'd have to do it for long enough for the time to pass. You're not quite sure how long that is.
Okay.
But you were figuring your choices are you can try to wipe out Erebus, figure out how to get back to Earth, interrupt what it's doing, which you might be able to do something since you have the Layrock with you, which is a pretty potent artifact. You can wake, or I should say, cease kicking Obi in the ribs over and over again, Obey in the ribs over and over again. See what his plan was. It might be the same thing, might be something different.
Okay.
Or go along with what Erebus wants to do, which is he has a plan,
but it involves
but it's really
genocide
terrible
of an entire reality.
And,
Okay.
And strangely enough, part of you is okay with that.
Yeah, I'm not okay with that part of me though. Automacon, how long is the charge on your beam?
Very.
Nice. How long can you keep it going?
Very.
At full power, not very long.
Okay, what if you
Slightly
had
more limited.
a external power source and I point to the rocks?
Oh. Analyzing. Very long. May have consequences, though.
What?
Okay.
Are the consequences worse than the end of this reality?
Unknown.
Do we know if we are actually still on Earth?
No, we're in an interstitial space. However, that looks like a gateway to Earth.
Because I have teleportation where I can instantaneously transmit myself to another location I have been to, no matter the distance, as long as I'm on the same plane as it. And I can use a point of effort to take Automacon with me. Now, I've been to Rikers Island.
So the question is, are
I
you on the
was
same plane of
dead.
I
existence
just
right
gotta
now?
get back on to our plane of existence.
Okay.
With the robot dude.
So plan F now is Automacon etch-a-sketches that glyph.
So that is an
Yeah.
option here. It'll
That's
take
going
most of my ability to do, but I can do it.
okay, and then we just have to keep the priest busy. And also prevent Erebus from doing whatever fuckery he's doing.
Right.
That's just a given.
And if we shove Hex off, the floating rocks into the void, that's just bonus, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was plan A.
Because fuck that fucker.
I'm still
Okay.
okay with sacrificing these assholes.
Well, I'm not ruling that out because we, kind of have to get Erebus to drop his guard.
Which is difficult because you're talking about it right in front of him.
Yeah, but Will is his connection to the reality here. And Will's a dumbass.
Remember intelligence, wisdom?
Will is a perfectly ordinary dude.
He's a doofus.
Heavily on the dude part.
Have you met perfectly ordinary people?
Motherfucker's a doofus. Come on.
Think, as Carlin said, think about how stupid the average person is. Now remember that mathematically half the people in the world are stupider than that.
So Hex, of all people,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
looks over at the rest of his crew. Can it be stopped? Erebus that stands and thinks for a second. I hadn't thought about that. They'll need another planet eventually. Don't know when the time will be for it, though. Actually, wait, no.
We're not
You'll only
using
buy
Pluto.
yourselves maybe, what, 2.5 billion years? Is that enough?
Yeah.
Yep. I'm okay with this.
That being somebody else's problem. Damn.
If the sun doesn't go nova before that, yeah.
Kicking the can a long way down the road.
Eventual heat death of the universe, yada, yada, yada.
That's a
Yeah.
future us problem.
Yeah, for that we'd be playing Numenera.
Yep.
So
Campaign 5, anyone? Sorry.
he stands up to his full height, which is not all that great. He's, once again,
He's
pretty
Will.
fucking average guy. So he's like, 5'10". Like,
Still taller than me.
that's an interesting gamble. He holds up his hand, and one of those weird black tentacles kind of springs out and plugs itself, like snakes across the room through the air, and plugs itself straight into black ice.
Oh, hey, consent, dude. She's
And he
alive.
says,
Come on.
Bad touch. Bad touch.
Yeah. Yeah.
and he says, all right, do it. Take them all. I
Okay.
need them.
I need to be touching everybody for my ability, unless Erebus wants to zap us
So
out.
more tentacles spring out of you and touch everyone else around you.
Hey, whoa.
Reach out and touch with your nasty ass tentacles.
I guess that means I'm no longer invisible, huh?
Nope, you just had a hentai noodle right up Main Street.
Okay.
And we hit punchy, folks.
Are we going to
I
assume
started
can do
punchy,
this,
Julie.
or do you want me to roll for it?
I'm going to assume you can do it. Come on. This is a big
Okay.
dramatic moment.
So my eyes go wide and go black. but very crystalline black. And you all feel very, very cold for just a second. It all goes black, and we are suddenly back on Rikers Island, right where we were sitting eating popcorn.
And that's where the episode ends.
Yes.
Yep. That looks like
Yeah.
that sounds like a perfect place to pause it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was issue 33 of The Powers That Be. We called this one, How Did It Come to This? Very appropriate.
You're welcome.
Yep. Thank you for that, Patrick. So, obviously, this was the beginning of the end. It is obviously not the end of the end. So, schedules notwithstanding, we should be back on Monday the 26th, again, 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Maybe to finish this, I hope. I kind of hope
so.
because I want to see the conclusion. I kind of don't because I like this, but, Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. We're going to get out of here, take a quick break, and then come back and do our after show. That'll be up on YouTube tomorrow night. Once again, if you like what we're doing here, if you don't like what we're doing here, if you just want to mouth off at this point, I don't care. Leave us a comment, tell us what you think. But in the meantime, for Patrick, ECAT, Matt, Julie, and Ray, I am Trevor, the Vitruvian Meeple. Good night, everyone.